What is up, Luka Nation? I'm very excited to bring you today's special guest episode. We've got a guest with us today, Adam Lefkoe, NBA on TNT and Bleacher Report, and a whole bunch of other stuff this guy has done. You gotta look him up on the internet. Some of the funniest stuff in the world. But he shared a stage with the likes of Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and Samuel Jackson. And there's one feather missing in his cap, and that was coming into the Luca's Tigers and Bronze podcast and being able to have a conversation with me. So I'm very excited to have him. It put me in a weird position because Andrew and he are both Philly guys, and I don't like getting ganged up on those Philly guys. But I hope you guys enjoy it. We bring Adam Lefkoe, just a great guest to chat about sports. And sports cards, which he's recently gotten into. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
All right, Luka Nation. We got a really, really special guest on today. It's been an eventful weekend in sports. We have the MLB playoffs starting, NBA finals coming up. NFL weekend was wild, but we have a really, really special guest, and I'm so excited that he graced us today, took the time. He's the NBA on TNT host. He's the host of the Adam Lefkoe show on Bleacher Report. Mr. Adam Lefkoe, thank you for joining us today, man.
Man, I feel like we did a podcast already. I feel like we've been talking for 40 minutes.
I do that to people, man. I do that. The people who listen to this know. You guys should know.
It is a crazy time, though, for sports, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting because usually this time it's only football. And then in October is when basketball starts. And so what happens is I always feel like there's this fracturing of fans where like some people are like, I care about my fantasy team. And then other people are like, yeah, but like I'm a huge NBA fan. And now it's like a big crescendo, it feels like, where it's going to be like NBA finals right in the heart of the NFL season. And then when it's over, we've kind of figured out who's good in the NFL. And then, like you're saying, like we're about to have what a crazy baseball playoff we're about to have.
So I want to get to all of this, and I really do. So how I have this kind of episode planned, and it's going to get derailed by Cage. I guarantee you guys that. I want to open.
Yeah, I could already tell that man is a human tangent.
I'm not saying anything. That human tangent is my new nickname. We're gonna make shirts. I love it.
I want to do NBA Finals. I want to get the origin story. I hear you're a Philly guy, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
I'm a Philly guy as well. You went to Syracuse, so I'm excited to get to that. And we could go NFL recap, MLB, and I heard The Obstacle's the Way is one of your favorite books, and I love that book. So that's kind of the 5 topics I'd love to get to.
Really, you should start there for everybody.
I think I say this to Cage a lot. Like I think in the sports card hobby.
Before you keep going, I'm just gonna hang up now.
Well, like
if we're gonna start off with a book,
this is good for you. You should take this like medicine. You should listen to this.
God. I don't take medicine. Go ahead.
We all want clarity in our decision making, right? Like it's easy to have the ups and downs and emotional swings, and you see that in sports cards every day. You know, one guy comes off. By the way, that mute button works great, Cage.
No, it doesn't.
Like Kyler throws for 3 interceptions, people are starting to bug. But point is, I want to start with the NBA playoffs and NBA finals specifically. I'm so excited that the Heat are in it. I love the way the Heat play. They remind me of like an old school, the Warriors team of 4 or 5 years ago. What are you seeing? You know, I'm torn. I don't know who's going to win. And I don't want to toot my own bell, but
the favorite is the Lakers. The favorite is the Lakers. Like, what we have seen out of the Heat is one of the most unified teams I've seen in a long time. Like the fight, the spirit, the synchronicity, like the just the energy of that team. The fact that they each have roles that are so well defined and they do it without hesitation. Duncan Robinson waits no time. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. But if we're looking at the makeup of a team, I have yet to see anybody compete with the size of the Lakers. Beyond the fact that, like, let's just take LeBron and Anthony Davis, who, if we're doing the top players on both teams, that's players 1 and 2 on both teams.
Easily.
JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, what they have created down low, it's just droves. And Do we see more Myers Leonard? It ends up being a make or miss league where if the KCPs of the world hit their threes, and Danny Green, you cannot beat the Lakers. It's absolutely impossible. And Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are going to have to be crazy. But I will say, man, Tyler Hero just blowing by Marcus Smart. I'm sitting here going, that man you fought for Defensive Player of the Year. You were like, it's AD or Marcus Smart. He's just Tyler Hero is blowing by that guy, by him.
What surprised me about Hero, in specifically that last game, he had 2 turnovers. He got picked by Jaylen Brown, and I think he got picked by Marcus Smart a few plays ago. And I
said this on the Lefkoe show. I'm getting very similar vibes from Tyler Hero as I am Joe Burrow. I feel like they have the same energy to them. They're both like, I'm young and I don't care, and I'm a baller.
What do you think? So with the zone, right? Like, I think the Heat are going to bring the zone. The Lakers can't hit threes. They haven't hit threes all year.
Cards of people on these teams?
I just bought my first 2 LeBron Chromes.
Because I want to know, I think when we're talking about sports, you should say who you have, because it is 100% going to impact the bias of how you root for the team. It impacts me every day.
I'm trying to sell my LeBron so I could root for the Heat. I got to be honest. But what I say to Luka Nation is I want to be diversified. I don't want to be risking one way or the other. So we have Tyler Hero.
What does your boy say?
I say you can't be a Philly fan and do NBA on TNT.
What?
You say you can't be the 76ers fan and actually,
Absolutely you can, because you need to understand, when you are rooting for the Sixers, you are rooting for nothing. The Sixers are not even a franchise right now. The Sixers
I'm a Knicks fan, so
have assembled trash.
I'll give you 10 years of Knicks to 1 year of Sixers.
You know what we just watched? We just watched Jason Tatum, a guy that we passed up for, lose to a Heat team with Jimmy Butler, who was the quintessential Philly athlete that would have taken our anger and our haste and baked it into a finals cake. And he is down there starting a coffee brand, and he has this legion of young players that are following his every step. And he looked at our franchise and he said, they don't want to win. We are left with nothing. We are left with scrap.
It's a perfect day to have you on, right? Because you have it. I mean, you got it. You got the Philly.
I just watched the Philadelphia Eagles implode, so that's why I'm a mess right now.
But it's a better day because I have some salt for your wounds. So I'll just throw a name out there. It's a salt. So how did you feel yesterday as the Eagles punted and all that other fun stuff?
Nick Foles about that game, right? In the second half?
No. Yeah, Nick Foles. No, it's even worse. As the tap dancing Justin Jefferson tap danced across the end zone with his 175 yards, and Mr. Rieger was on the IR with his boo-boo finger. And you, as an Eagles fan, I mean, did that just add some spice to your day? Did you have visions of DK Metcalf being passed on, McLaurin being passed on,
so what
in favor of JJ Ortega-Whiteside?
This should be a commercial for Sportscards. What you're doing is perfect. What you did was you just belittled fanhood that has been baked in me since a child. Sometimes it is joyous when you win a Super Bowl. Sometimes it is overbearing when you experience a day like Eagles fans have had, that every sports fan has had. I'm assuming that you're a Giants fan when Saquon went Jets.
Raiders, but it's a story for a different
Raiders,
time.
Fine. On
just
Sunday,
as bad.
For you to realize after a Monday night in which people crowned Derek Carr as being back, he was reduced down to a child with no possibility of future playoff success. We all have experienced it. I can go instead and look at my cards, and I can pull out a Mahomes, and I can go, this is my team. Because that's the thing with fanhood is I get to choose who I'm picking now. So when I go in there and I pull out my Russell Wilson, that's my guy. I have no control over the Eagles and their awful GMing and their awful team building and the fact that Frank Reich, who's the reason they went to the Super Bowl in 2017, is leading the Colts to the promised land. I get to pick my guys, and that's why I'm cards.
And did you get into Adam?
Say it again?
When did you get into cards?
March 9th.
Wow. What was your first
day?
Yeah, I do. Because then 3 days later, Corona happened. And I was like, why did I buy all these cards?
What was the first big guy? What was the first big buy?
First big guy was LeBron 2003 Topps Chrome PSA 10. Straight off the bat, 6,900.
Sold 3 of them, and sold 3 of them last year.
I'm in that middle ground. Everybody in the hobby was like, I was buying LeBrons at 1,000. Or some guys like, I bought it at 15 grand. I'm that weird guy in the middle that's like, hey, what's up?
6,900 is a good price point on it. I bought 3 of them last year, $1,000 a piece. I remember I was telling Andrew a story about this where
6,900. Like what a fun. Like I like making my prices funny.
That's
I
the
sold
number.
a Tatum for 1133. That was my first card sale because I love the number 33.
I like
Very
and
Disney.
It's the Celtics, Larry Bird, a lot of stuff.
33 is very Disney. I don't know if you know that. I looked that
You're a
up.
big Disney guy?
They have a private club in Disney, Club 33.
This is incredible. Let's dive into this. Do you have any Disney autographs?
No.
Then what are you doing? How do you not have Walt Disney's autograph?
No.
They definitely have that as a PSA 10.
Disney himself is an interesting character. It's more of, I mean, it's deep-seated familial problems that led me to going to Disney World. It's a dark upbringing.
So you like the
trust
art,
me, our listeners
but not
don't
the
want to hear
artist.
about. I like the art. I like Disney World. I don't know about the art. I don't know about the movies. I like going to the place. I like for 1 week.
What was it
of
like
the year,
then for the NBA to literally be living in Disney World?
Yeah, listen, if it wasn't for a bubble, I would have went down there. I would have stalked these guys. I would have had coffee with Jimmy Butler. I would have been in the NBA. Forget about it. It would have been awesome. That's like the collision of the two
Haven't seen
worlds
as
for
much
me.
Mickey as I thought I would.
You know what? That sounded very dirty. Especially in Ireland. But
See,
so let me ask.
I know it's intense because we're talking about Walt Disney World. He's taking it there. Andrew.
Well, listen, they have a thing down in Disney World called Hidden
Tangent
Mickeys,
City,
right?
I love it.
They hide Mickeys all over the place, Hidden Mickey, and they got books of the Hidden Mickey. I remember I brought one back to
That's
my office
scary.
once. It's the Hidden Mickey, and this Irish woman I worked with was like, that means something totally different where I'm from.
Oh man.
You gotta love it. Well, listen, so you get into cards, 6,900. What else? So what else besides LeBron? Are you just
Oh, and then
basketball?
I bought a Luka base that 2 days later for 600, and I bought a Trey Silver PSA 10 for 750.
Nice.
And I have sold the Luka.
How did you make the decisions like what to buy? Was this just gut instinct? Like who's been your mentor or like
the guy that brought me in was Gary V.
Yeah.
That was because he was the one that at a dinner that was just like, hey, you seem like a great guy, but I'm just letting you know that if we get done this dinner and you're not in the sports cards, I'm gonna laugh in your face in 3 years. And I went on and I was like, shit, I'll get a LeBron. So I got a LeBron, and then I was like, man, I love Luka and I think Trey is exciting, and I just went with it. And then when the COVID happened, I didn't look at it. And then in May, Gary texted me again and was like, have you looked at the prices? And the LeBron was at 9.6. And I was like, how is that possible? I was like, I'm turning on CNN and CBS, and they're telling me like more than 40 million people are unemployed. And I was like, and I was looking at like my stocks, and I opened up my 401k and I was like, that's not good. And then I opened up eBay and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And
so why do you think that happened? Because you're in it. You're in the thick of it. You're in the cards. You're in the sports. You're in the life.
Happened?
Yeah. Why do you think that happened?
So one thing that I'm reading right now is a book by Annie Duke, and it's about life as a series of bets. I don't remember the title. It's an audio book. I don't have it in front of me.
Very cool.
But one of the things that she was saying is to avoid like a resultist mindset where something happens and then you give all of the credit to you being smart and none of the credit to luck. But when you lose, you go, oh, that guy caught a card on the river. But it's like, no, it's all a series of percentages and a series of bets. And so I kind of take it. I think that everyone wants to have a reason so that they either feel comfortable for why they didn't go in harder or why they didn't go in at all. Because all of us, even the people that are going in hard as hell right now, are still looking at like a Josh Allen, National Treasure RPA, and they're like, "Damn, I remember when it was 35."
I paid $50 for this. It's like
that was so
700.
that you could put it out. That was so that
It's
you
like
could put
700.
it out. But I look at it. I think it's a series of. The main thing is I feel like we've all had to kind of look at our lives and come up with things to do that is constructive in our time. And I think that in this time where the market is bouncing up huge, people are looking for ways to capitalize, because if you've paid attention to financial markets, all we've heard our entire lives is that the wealthy makes their money in a down market. Mm-hmm. And I think that people from the alternative investment side is one piece. I think that the nostalgia side is a huge piece. And nostalgia doesn't just come from parents wanting to educate their kids. It also comes from their kids wanting to do something. And I have heard plenty of stories of young kids that are watching live breaks and the energy that comes from that. And if they go to their parents and say, like, I want to do this, it becomes like this cycle that I think builds steam. And I think also that the prices going up has just attracted more attention.
Yeah, it's been weird, right? Wouldn't you say it's been, with stocks going down and cards going up, is a bit of bizarro world, right? I mean, the prices of cards have been they've been dominant like the moops.
The stocks have been going up since the end of March and April.
Yep.
Like the stock market is incredible right now.
Yep.
Like part of one of the reasons why I think my dad believes, like, because I have had so many of my family go, Adam, we're a little bit worried about you. You suddenly are talking about pieces of cardboard, and we got a good thing going right now, and we don't want you to ruin that. And I go, thank you for your concern. You know what? This has completely changed my entire opinion about it. But when I told them about Collector's Universe stock, and I said, hey, I got this in May at about, I don't know.
May was probably 32. Whoa, I got it at 15.
I think I got it like 31. I
watched that stock like a hawk.
And now it's at 51.
Yep.
And it's like that was a graph that they were able to go, this is a professional company where people have to wear pants to work, and their stock is skyrocketing.
So do you think
this thing must be real?
Still a buy? Do you
Say it
think
again?
Universe is still a buy?
Oh, I have no idea. Don't take financial advice from me. What the fuck? I am doing an interview with a hoodie on.
I love it. Real quick.
I am not wearing pants, Andrew. I'm wearing shorts right now.
I love it. That's the TNT show in you, right? So Cade he collects with his son, and his son is so smart, and he tracks all the data. 7-year-old kid, he knows it all.
Also, how cool is it to be able to teach your kids like of supply and demand, of budget management, of bankroll, like.
So the other day he tried to do math.
Opened up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, really quick. Getting into sports cards has literally opened up the business side of my brain. And I'm 34 years old, and I've never thought like this before. But like the notion of wanting to trade and be active in a marketplace, it just kind of awakened something. At least it did for me.
It really is. It really. So he's telling me he couldn't do his math homework, 2nd grade math homework. So my wife and I are looking at him, do your math homework, and he's like, I don't want to do this, or I can't do this. And my wife actually says to him, he goes, if I told you to tell me how much a Kyler Murray Prism PSA 10 was selling for on eBay last week, you could find that in a second. Now go do your math homework. Don't give me this crap. I mean, it really is.
No doubt.
Because it's. And I love the father-son bonding. I mean, I did that back in my day. My father and I would go to card shows, and he would talk about how, he'd flip the baseball cards, they'd be in the bicycle spokes and all that stuff. But it was one of those things we could do together. So it's nice to be able to do that with my son as well.
Adam, so from a distance here, and for one or the two of the people,
Ooh, keep going. I like that song.
One of the people in Luka Nation that doesn't know who you are. Could you get into the origin story? How did you get here? Because, you're very entertaining, but you're also very thoughtful. And that combination is really rare to find.
Isn't he nice? He's so complimentary. He does this when he have guests on, but I think he's just trying to make me jealous.
True.
Cage. I'm going to leave. You can go ahead and...
Cage. If you keep panning over to show me this Walt Disney World picture, this is not even a podcast that's on video. So you're just trying to show me that but then again, I am showing you a ship.
I'm looking at my hair, to be honest. I just got a haircut.
Your hair does look good. Do you get your hair cut by a British barber?
Short right there. It's very bespoke.
Yeah, who did that?
He's not British.
Okay.
He's not British. But I
got my hair cut by Chieko Watsugama down in Soho.
No, that is a Floby, and if you try to convince me any different,
nope,
I am not going to buy it.
It's a little Japanese woman. Her daughter goes to Princeton, and she uses scissors the entire time. It's incredible.
I love it.
Also, I get my hair washed. That's worth like $40 to me.
100%.
That process.
Mm-hmm. A head massage is maybe the best thing ever.
Like, would you rather have a DK Metcalf Raw Prism or like?
I don't want to get rawed by DK Metcalf at all.
Yeah, right. Andrew,
okay, so
that is part of his dream.
I'm avoiding it. I'm gonna truncate the story down. Knew I wanted to be on TV or something in sports broadcasting, so I went to Syracuse. Graduated, first job was in Hastings, Nebraska. I was a one-man band news reporter. Shot, wrote, edit, did sports, did news, all that stuff. $18,500. Was there for 2 years. Second job, I get to Louisville, Kentucky. Start off at news still. I'm trying to convince them to let me go into sports. Finally get into sports. Covered some Kentucky championships, Louisville championships. I'm there for 3.5 years. Can't get an agent. Nobody wants to represent another white guy doing sports. Direct quote, that's what I was told. I then said, you know what? I'm going to start dropping some references and using Twitter because that's where people my age are on. I do a wrestling cast, a Seinfeld cast, a rap cast in 3 straight weeks. They go viral. Tweeted out by World Star Hip Hop and Time Magazine. I get an interview with Bleacher Report. They turn me down. Then I go viral. Then I finally get an agent. Bleacher Report calls me back. I'm doing 30 videos a day, updating their app, news, highlights, all that stuff, interviewing the Newark Star Ledger. What are the 3 X factors for the New York Giants? Start a podcast there for like 6 years, just kind of making it work. Get a few shots by Turner. Turner puts me on The Match, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, that whole thing. I'm doing a pregame show with Charles Barkley and Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson liked my pants. Charles Barkley liked the way that we were kicking it. Also, Pat Perez was there. He gets upset when I don't bring it up. Then I got a few opportunities to do the rookie-sophomore game at the All-Star Weekend. My color commentators were Danny Green and Frank Kaminsky. Called a game, had a good time, had a lot of fun. Then they asked me to do the Tuesday show. But I've been doing the Sims and Lefkoe podcast before it was the Lefkoe show. And that's been the career path. So I went Nebraska, Kentucky, New York, and I've been here for about 7 years.
No, I love that.
Dude, he breathes less than I do. This guy, I love it.
I drink a lot of water.
So what did you like? So your parents are surprised that you're investing in sports cards, but you knew you wanted to be in sports your whole life, right?
Right. And that was one of the things that Gary said to me first was he goes, you're going to love this because sports cards is what you're already doing,
right?
Except it's in like a collector form.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so when I began to realize that, you know, if I show you my Jamal Murray's and you show me your Bam Adebayos, like it's just like having a discussion with your friends about who's going to be good. And so that drew it to me. The other thing that I've enjoyed is one of the other big card purchases I made was a Kevin Durant refractor.
Nice.
Topps Chrome. And I overpaid for it by about 20%. And I didn't know. But the guy I bought it from messaged me on eBay and was like, are you the Adam Lefkoe on Bleacher Report? And I was like, yeah. Ended up being this dude, Chris Jackson, Action Jackson, who's like, he's been doing this his entire life. And I literally talked to him for 3 hours a day. Like,
by the way, this happens. That's the craziest hobby thing,
I went on vacation with my fiance. And the last 3 days, I was on a porch overlooking the Atlantic Ocean with my fiance asleep, on the phone or FaceTiming this dude for 6 hours. So what's the difference? So Prism started in 2012. Okay. And does that matter? Oh, okay. Well, like, what if you have 495s on a BGS? You know what I mean? Like, just every question that I can think about. And then like thinking that I've solved it and being like, I literally at one point was like, I'm going to buy every Wilt Chamberlain PSA 1 that exists. I'm going to corner the market on PSA 1 Wilt Chamberlains. And he's like, that's not going to work. I was like, yeah, but then I'm the only guy that has them. And you start thinking of like ways, and then you begin to realize that people in the hobby are A, smart and savvy people. 2, they are legitimate sports fans. They do not get caught up in bullshit. There is no like fake hype. Like there are some people that believe in the hype and all that, but sports cards enthusiasts have such a big picture and they have such an understanding of history that there's no gimmicks. You're not getting over on anybody. If you think you're getting over on somebody in the hobby, you just got.
Cage, I mean, now's a great time, and I don't want to put you on the spot here. It might be a little premature to talk about your eBay. What we're noticing is a ton of businessmen also getting into the hobby, right? They're not necessarily sports fans. They're in digital media. They're angel
alternative investments.
They're apparel guys. And Cage actually has a story of how he met someone right through eBay buying vintage cards. And it's kind of cool, Cage, if you want to let it rip here, or we could do
I hope he doesn't. I hope you did that whole setup and he's like, I'd like to keep that to myself.
Yeah, I got to keep it secret. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm just playing. But here's the fun, right? So honestly, here's the funny part about it. I have met so many people through selling on eBay that I don't even know which one he's talking about. But what's funny is your statement about how you talk to this guy, blah, blah. It's literally like my last 8 nights. And that's probably who you're talking about, Andrew. You know, you're on the phone for 3 hours, 4 hours, trying to fill him in, trying to explain the whole deal. Look, you could have been talking about Gary Vee. You could have been talking about, anybody.
It just makes me realize there's such
for a 5-figure, almost a 6-figure sum.
Say it again.
Yeah, vintage cards. Not are we talking about my Kareem?
That's the one I'm talking
about.
Kareem?
Oh, nice. So I bought a Kareem rookie card. So this just to let you know, right? So I've been on eBay.
I have a 1969 Topps Kareem. What's your grade?
Are we really?
This is a fucking draw.
Are we hanging grain?
This is a 3-2. It's a duel.
Are we hanging grain? Are we at the urinal now? Are we really?
I don't
measuring?
feel that
because you're going to lose, Adam.
This is a Kareem measuring contest.
All right, mine was a PSA 8.5.
Damn.
Yes, I told you you're going to lose.
Mine was a PSA 9.
No, bullshit. You don't know. There's no way you have a 9.
Hey, I am proud of my 7.
7's a gorgeous card. It's a gorgeous card.
You know what?
And if it's centered, it might be nice.
When I stand there and I whip out a 7, I'm proud of myself.
You're proud of it? I'm 8.5 guy, but I don't know what to do with it.
Some people would say that's too much Kareem.
That's right. Some people would say it's not about the size; it's what you do with it. And I sold mine. I appeal. It's got to be centered, right? Can't be off to the left a little bit, Adam. I think that's what we're saying.
See? Andrew, he goes right to the line and he crosses it every time.
Every single time. And that's what people love. But yes,
Disney World in the background. Like that's what's in the dichotomy.
I'm worried about
it right now.
I want to bring them value. And you guys are having dick measuring.
Here's the value. No. Kareem measuring. Easy. No one said that. Nobody. Andrew, come on. Don't go there. No. So, I'll list cards on eBay and people will reach out. And people who are legitimate businessmen in the hobby who, like you, have gotten into it in the last couple of months.
I think I might have to get sponsored by eBay to use eBay because I'm just finding it too enjoyable to sell cards not on eBay.
Yeah. Well, I stopped.
I'd like to start a new campaign called Keep Your Fees. I hate them.
So
it's a new hashtag.
Feebag is how we call it, right?
When I sell my card for a number, I want to write that down into a journal and I want to go, look at me, I am a genius. I don't want to put in some number with change on it that's like, oh, you didn't sell your card for $2,000. You sold your card for $1,876.82. I don't want that.
So it's funny you bring it up, right?
That's not fun for me.
It's cottage industry,
Keep
right?
Your
That's
fees,
popping up, right? We'll talk about it, right? So, with the rise of cards, I've been on eBay since 1996.
Is that what the National was like?
No, the National is mostly
without the fees.
It has changed. It has changed a lot. The National 3 years ago was a bunch of old guys screaming how you buy the card, not the grade, and my vintage is better than your vintage.
Don't be. That's my fear.
Old man. Look at this.
Can I tell you my fear is
I'm
that I'm going to go to one of these Nationals, and I'm going to walk in, and there's going to be like a bunch of old guys in one corner. There's going to be a bunch of kids walking around with their socks. And
it's the Sharks and the Jets, man.
With their long black socks with AND1 designs on it. With their Yeezys. And I'm worried that they're not going to get along. And I want there to be like a mixer.
You can't. They actually ask you before you get in the door how many prisms you own. And if you say too many, they don't let you in to their side of the room. That's kind of the way it works. But listen, it's changed. It's changed a lot.
Fun fact. Fred VanVleet wears AND1 shoes to play.
Oh, yeah. Listen, if you would have offered me and one stock as a teenager with that guy with no face, the bald head that's like always crossing people up, and here would be and one shirts that was like, "Excuse me, I think you just lost your ankles." Like that was the coolest stuff ever. That was also at a time when you can go to Foot Locker and get 5 white T-shirts for $20. Like that was the time to be alive.
You
really I was a Foot Locker yesterday.
He is a
Foot Locker yesterday. Bought Giannis for my I don't know if he's a Philly guy. I'm not a Philly guy, but I didn't know you guys had this Philly thing here. But we'll get to some Philly stuff in a second. I want to tell you, a lot of people don't like eBay and the card buying and the comeback of cards over the last couple of years. There are consignments. There are different ways to sell on eBay, Instagram.
There's nothing that gets me more juiced than having the highest bid with a ticking down clock. When there's a minute left and Adam's about to make a run at a color blast, now I'll tell you, there's nothing more defeating than like it goes away and it comes back and you're like, how did I even get to that number?
Yeah, how did I not win? What are you talking about? I saw the clocks go down to 0 and I was the winning bidder $1,000 ago. Yeah, that does happen, Adam. 100% correct. 100%. So here's my deal, right? So one of the things we do, and I'm gonna
Andrew really wants to give the audience value right now.
Yeah, he's looking. But I'm gonna toot Andrew's horn. This was Andrew's idea, right? We do something on our little weird podcast, and it sounds like you know all about podcasts. 3 months ago, I couldn't even tell you what a podcast was. This was all this guy's idea. I've never done it before. This is literally, I don't know what the hell it is, and I can't even tell you. We got a few listeners, trust me, and they seem to like what we're doing. But Andrew's idea was
bada bing, bada boom.
Cards, daily fantasy, sports betting. All of it's intertwined. Talk about all of it. It's all kind of related, right?
That's the next step to me is who makes sports card daily gambling? That's the question. We have it with breaks. Who takes it to the next level?
I don't know anyone as entertaining as us. So we'll see.
Well, this guy's good. We're gonna have him back on. We have a weekly spot with this guy. I like this. I don't know about the hoodie. You know what? You guys are Philly guys.
I was trying to seem casual so that you wouldn't get intimidated.
Well, I'm not.
I'm only kidding, Andrew.
I got a question.
I'm only kidding.
Come on, Andrew. Here, you ready? Red vines or Twizzlers?
You have to understand what I like about Andrew is he's thoughtful.
Is it a red vine or a Twizzler?
It's depends on what it is.
Oh, God.
That thing was from our first NBA on TNT, and I just remember being like, Shaq, you can call it a Twizzler, but I'm holding up a package, and on said package it says Red Vine. I was like, they are different things. It's like Kleenex.
I got another one for you, because Shaq is. I know you get to work with him.
It's Andrew's turn.
No, he doesn't get a turn.
I cannot sit here. What?
He doesn't get a turn. Go ahead, Andrew. Ask away. He's got nothing.
You have to understand that Andrew has questions. I can see it.
He has none. He has none. He wants to talk to you about stoicism, and I will not let that happen to our audience.
Adam, so I come from a sales background. So one of my favorite training programs in my early 20s was Straight Line Selling by Jordan Belfort. Love it. And I highly recommend all the salespeople out there, Straight Line Selling. This interview is going according to my plan, and I'll navigate it as I need. We're getting to the end destination. We are. Even with Cage's ranting and you guys hitting it off. I love it.
Cage, do you see all the sun that's coming into that hallway behind Andrew right now?
Yes.
Like,
it's nice, right? That's his house.
I just want to go and stand in front of it like a dog.
He's got a sauna back there. Adam. A legit sauna. Right back there.
Adam, is this like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air situation?
No, we came here. We're from Ukraine. So we're immigrants. My family came here with absolutely nothing. And, I'm a product of good parents. They worked their way up. My dad owns a cafe in Center City, Philadelphia. My mom's a computer programmer, but they came here with nothing. And then they bought this. So couldn't be more proud of them.
Dude, parents are the best. Cage has kids, correct?
I do, and not a dad anymore, but just kids.
I can't wait to have babies.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so ruthless in sports cards when I have kids. I'm going to be like, this is for my child.
That's right.
I will not give you any more.
Meanwhile, my strategy is whenever I get a PSA return, my son gets all the 9s, and Andrew's like, don't give him the 9s.
I like that.
That's what I do. I siphon off every 9. He's got a collection of huge, but he's got some nice 9s. He's got a Giannis Prism 9 rookie. I mean, he's got some big dollar cards.
So you have started setting some aside?
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%. You have to. He's got
That's
his own
incredible.
collection. He's got his own collection, and he, you know what? He doesn't want to sell it, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. But parents, Andrew, go for it. Continue.
Adam, you interviewed Arthur Blank yesterday.
I did.
Where do the Falcons go from here, man? That's tough to stomach.
So I felt bad for Arthur Blank because
So did I. After you suggested he stand in a different spot.
I know, right? Well, he wrote this book, and they sent it to me with like 3 days. But I read it, and it was a lot about his business practices and how he doesn't refer to anybody, even the lowest level person at Home Depot, as an employee. They're an associate. And it's the same thing with players on his team. And he is somebody that truly is the spend money to make money. Like, he goes into the Atlanta stadium and they're like, wow, these seats are too close together. And he's like the only stadium. Remember, he was giving away food for like $3. And so here I read this, and he has a chapter about the Super Bowl comeback of the Falcons. And he's talking about how he really never got over it. And he really gave away everything from 2017. And it's the only chapter that doesn't have like a positive note at the end. And now he's doing a media tour for his book, and they've now had 2 epic collapses. And I told him, I said, I just feel bad for you that you're having to talk to people like me who all we want to do is make fun of you. Like, all we want to do is be like, man, you're going to blow another game. I can't believe you didn't fire Dan Quinn after you started 1-7 last year. Like, there's so like, but then again, that's what happens sometimes when you're too good to your employees. Like, they have to prove themselves wrong, maybe a little bit more than someone that's skeptical. But Dan Quinn has not had a top 10 defense in any year that he's been there. He constantly has turnover. It's one of those things where, like, your friend comes to you and goes, man, me and my girl, we fight all the time. And you're like, you know what? You're only 3 months in. Maybe it's healthier if you go separate ways. Yep. And then, like, they're saying it and it's 2.5 years later. And you're like, I have no sympathy for you.
Yep.
Like, that's where I am with Dan Quinn. Like, Dan Quinn was on the hot seat before last year, and they went 1-7 to start the season. And then they beat the Niners at the end of the year. People were like, oh, see that fight?
Watch out.
Like, get out of here.
Cage, what did I say yesterday? Do you remember a little when we went head to head? You picked the Falcons, I picked the Bears.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, but you shouldn't get points for that. It doesn't, like, if Cage was betting against Mitchell Trubisky, not Nick Foles.
Correct.
And that's different. I would not have bet against Nick Foles.
Dude, Adam, you might be in my phone because at about the midway through the third quarter, and the Bears were still down 2 touchdowns, and I'm like, I was not picking against Nick Foles. I was picking against Mitch Trubisky.
That's what happened to me
read
week
the
2.
texts. Yeah.
Week 2,
I was like, this is not a fair bet anymore.
Week 2, I bet against Drew Lock and Tyrod Taylor, and I got Jeff Driscoll running all over the place, and Justin Herbert. And I was like, I didn't bet against those guys.
I'm just mad at Nick Foles because in the last 2 weeks we've been making picking against the spread.
I was looking at Nick Foles rookie cards a month ago.
Yeah, why not?
Listen, and I'm sitting here going, Super Bowl champion, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in one season. I'm sitting here going, man.
We went off on a tangent. So what you said, Andrew, was that Dan Quinn should be fired if they lose the game. I remember.
I said that the team has given up on Dan Quinn.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. What do you think Dan Quinn is saying at halftime? Hey, guys. Hey, I know that a lot of you were thinking about that Super Bowl 2 years ago, 28-3. I know I bring it up every game. But, like, let's get over it, okay? It's not going to happen again. I know we're only up 16. At that time, we were up 20. Like, what is he saying at halftime? Worst halftime speech giver ever.
He's showing him highlights of Todd Gurley at Georgia. Bring back the old days.
And literally, it's the ultimate sign of good coaching is what happens after in-game adjusting.
Yep.
Why is Bill Belichick the best? Because with 1 minute left in the second quarter, he's writing notes on a card, going into halftime, and he's already told the coaches how we're going to adapt at halftime. And then they kick your ass in the second half like they did the Raiders. When you look at Sean McVay, we're down 28-3. Man, he came out in the second half, and it looked like they made the field wider. It was like Woods with nothing and Cut with nothing, and it's like that's coaching. Dan Quinn gets big leads in the first because he's had 6 days to come up with an idea, and then the second half, it's like, hey, you can't keep doing the same things anymore. And that's why it's interesting with Spoelstra. But then I was just to bring it all together. But I just think that
before you get off blank,
coaches show themselves in the third quarter. Show me.
I think it's less about coaches. I think and you should have asked culture. Blank about this yesterday. You ready? When you had blank there, I am firmly of the belief that Amazon is paying Arthur Blank to throw these games so that the Amazon statistic that they show of they have a 2% chance of winning at this current time in the game is actually relevant. That's it. I think Amazon's paying them off.
Yesterday was like the worst day for Atlanta fans. Not only do they blow another lead, but Buffalo blows a 28-3 lead, but then comes back and wins. So that they still own 28-3.
Yep. Yeah, Andrew texted me that one. Look what's going on. I'm like, Buffalo's still going to win. They're not Atlanta. Yeah. It was exactly 100% right, Adam.
Adam, are you a baseball guy?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
That's okay.
I think that I have fallen victim to the de-social medialization of baseball and the fact that none of their highlights were on the internet for a long time. And I think, look, I spent 7 years at Bleacher Report, and when I tell you that we would be in meetings and they would go, NBA and NFL explode. Baseball has no audience. And we would put up articles. I used to do baseball videos 3 times a week with writers and predictions, and it just never went anywhere. And baseball just kind of kept limiting itself. And so because I did a podcast with Sims, began watching film, and I began understanding the NFL, and I began seeing what he saw and realizing how media would react in the NFL. And I would see the trends and all that. Like, there was always an ACL epidemic the first week of training camp. And so that's what I predicted this year, that the first 2 weeks, I was like, it's just very predictable. And then with NBA, you throw yourselves into the leagues and you're reading newspapers every morning, and I just kind of cut out baseball. And the thing is like, I see clips of Juan Soto and I see clips of Tatis and I see clips of these guys and I go, wow, they look special. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where they're playing or like when they're on television. And like, if it's that or basketball bubble, it just doesn't win. And so I have one card, and it is a Juan Soto card, but that is because somebody told me to get it. He's cool to me.
Cage, do you think this bubble could be an interesting way to maybe bring him back into relevance?
I love it. I love what they're doing because I'm a baseball guy. I mean, I'm the elder statesman on this call here.
You sound like a baseball guy.
Thank you. Appreciate that,
bro. You're 43. You're not that.
I got you by 50%, and this guy here by 25. So, but here's the deal, right?
Cage is it's a good move by Cage, because what he's doing is it's like the 8 Mile technique. He's breaking it down so that neither of us are going to be like, hey, listen, you're talking to 2 people that believe in stoicism, Cage. We believe that you have wisdom. We are jealous of the life that you have lived.
So I'm B Rabbit and you're Papa Doc. Is that where we're going with this one?
You're Eminem and I'm the free world.
Eminem was B Rabbit and the free world was led by Papa Doc. So yes, we got it right.
Nailed it.
Good. Man.
I got it confused. Who's the dude that shot himself?
That's Cheddar Bob. That's Andrew. That's Andrew. Andrew can be Cheddar Bob for today. For today's performance, Cheddar Bob will be played by Andrew Goldberg. So no, I like baseball. Here's the problem with baseball, and it's a long list. The game's too damn long. It's not clip worthy. It's not internet friendly. It's not today's kid friendly. It's just not. You see somebody, do a crossover, drop and break the ankles of somebody, and then pop a 3. You see what Tyler Hero does to Marcus Smart. It is just clip it, throw it up on Twitter, put it on Instagram.
Isn't baseball fantasy a weekly thing?
Yeah.
Do they have daily fantasy baseball?
They do.
How does that do?
It's tough, but it does all right. I mean, baseball, it's just too long. It's too drawn out. The season's too long. 162 games is big. What makes football work, it's weekly, but it's 16 games. Every game means something. It's a lot of action.
I think it is interesting that none of the big relationships, like not even like the stars and like their escapades, like who was the dude on the Dodgers a few years ago that was like going out all the time?
Matt Kemp, right?
Matt Kemp
with Rihanna, right?
But who was the incredible athlete? Also plays on the Reds.
Oh, Puig. Yasiel Puig.
Thank you.
You got it.
Oh no, I just spilled water everywhere.
Oh no,
Puig was
man.
the guy where I was like, he might be the crossover dude.
Right.
And it never happened.
It wasn't that good. He was all muscles. But, I mean, Tatis could be a good time. But what you were talking about was this format. They won't keep it, but I would love – Andrew, it's a great question because you know what you're going to have, Adam? I don't know if you pay attention to the baseball at all, but over the next couple of days, you're going to have the closest thing to March Madness in baseball.
Really?
Tomorrow, there's 8 playoff games. Wednesday, there's 8
another?
playoff games. They're going to be on top of each other because the games last 3-4 hours each. All over.
I need to get a towel. I'm an idiot.
Go ahead. No, do your thing.
I apologize.
Please.
Okay. I was thinking about this. I'm going to ask Lefkoe when he gets back. Better long-term investment, Luka or Giannis, now that the dust has settled a little bit?
That's cool. I mean, listen, that works. You know, now that he's not here, you know, I could really tell you what I think about him. Oh, no, he's back. I'm just kidding. Can't really say
I have
that.
headphones on, so I heard the entire thing. Luka or Giannis?
Yep.
Well, hold on. So I
have headphones on. Son of a bitch. You heard what I said? Oh, my goodness.
Are one of you a big Luka collector? One of you a big Tiger Woods collector?
No.
So
my daughter came up with the name for our podcast because she likes The Wizard of Oz and liked Wicked on Broadway, and we had this. She drew the little animation for us, and it's basically lions and tigers and bears. It's Luka's tigers and bronze. Oh my! And that's it. It's just it's a catchy little thing.
I was like, what a great PC.
Yep.
I mean, if
that's
all
right.
you really collected was Luka, Tiger Woods, and LeBron, like
then
that's an amazing
you're doing all right, right?
PC that I would do. Like the fact that you guys aren't doing that is.
I have Luka.
Like, do you get hit up with people being like, "You're looking for some tigers, some SPs?"
That's right. Yeah. Hey, you want to buy a watch? you want to buy?
Do breaks all the time. Do you want to get in my break? We have one more spot for my break. No, I don't want to do your break. I don't like to gamble.
I've said this. If you want me in your break, because I don't know. Because
you're a name. It brings some heat.
Like how many followers do you have on the Luka account?
Almost 3,000. 25,
Right.
2,600
So,
in
like,
2 months.
If you went into a break and they gave you a spot and it probably cost like $30-$40, but they give you a spot, you might go in there. And so my thing is like, if breakers want to get people in, just give up a spot. You're already making money hand over fist, resell in a box to people. If you want this podcast to come on and like start talking to the comments and bring a little juice, give them something. You know what I mean? Like,
what did Andrew give you?
On everybody,
Andrew, what'd you give Andrew to come on here? Did you do this out of the kindness of your heart? I love this. I love this guy. I love this guy.
Because I like talking about this stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen, we do too. That's why we're literally every day. Every day.
Not.
So I'll go ahead and answer my own question since I'm basically having a conversation with myself at this point. I think Luka's a better investment. What I saw,
dude, let him answer. I
saw with Luka versus the Clippers. So I have this theory, okay? And
I think you're right.
Analyze players. 80% is fundamentals. You know, you got to have good fundamentals, and we all know what that is. I'm not going to elaborate. Then intangibles, okay? And what I saw from Luka's intangibles for such a young kid, they were jawing at him, they were hitting him. Markeith or Marcus, I can't remember which one. They're hitting him, they're cracking him. Him being able to handle that, unbelievable. And the last part is the it factor. Can you build a brand around this guy? And if someone has all three of those, I know they're going to be a star.
Well, Giannis has that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that about Luka. And then when I saw him handle that pressure at 21 years old, I thought that was unbelievable.
So here's how I would say. I think the 2017 NFL draft is a perfect way of explaining how important environment is to talent. Patrick Mahomes is an elite level athlete, most talented quarterback I've ever seen, goes to the perfect situation. Yep. Andy Reid, talent all around him, offensive line, amazing GM, football-focused city, everything. Deshaun Watson goes to a place where the talent is leaving, the coach stinks, the franchise, the owner passes away, and it was an owner that made like a lot of comments that made the players uncomfortable. It's been a mess. Deshaun Watson is still a top five talent. The gap between Mahomes and Watson, there is a gap, but it's not that big. Like They're both incredible athletes, incredible quarterbacks, smart, brilliant, all that. I look at the location and the situation of Luka versus Giannis. Giannis goes to a small franchise that every year, instead of going, how do we make this great? It's, are we going to lose Giannis? There's not a lot of people clamoring to get to Milwaukee. They have sort of a cast around him where there's nothing exceptional, and they're going to have to make a really big move. And also, it's not that marketable of a city.
Yep.
You have Mark Cuban as the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. They have the best facilities, all of that stuff. They will literally do, they've already done it for a guy like Dirk, so they're used to that international market. They can build. I just think that the situation for Luka, I feel like Giannis has to go somewhere to reach the potential that we all think he can. And the scary thing for Giannis is AD is in that situation as a bigger guy that has that great other piece where AD is that 1-2. And I think what we've realized now is that Giannis is not the one. He's a 1-2. And Luka gives me the one vibes. Luka gives me the Kobe, the Jordan, the Bird, the Magic. He gives me the vibes of there's no doubt who's taking that shot. Whereas for Anthony Davis, it was like, he did it. He did it. And he said Kobe. And that might be the only one you get. But most of the time, it's going to be LeBron.
Yep.
And I felt like if Luka, this is how you answer it. If Luka and Giannis were both on the Mavericks, let's say, and he could,
I think
who takes the last shot?
Luka, 9 out of 10.
And there it is.
Eric Bledsoe. But, you know, I mean, it's,
Tim Hardaway Jr.
That's it. Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr.
If there's one piece of value out there for Luka Nation, we've been saying it for the last few weeks. I think it's Luka cards are severely underpriced. We put out an episode saying Luka silver versus
certain kinds.
Huh?
Certain ones.
Kinds. I think
silver,
sometimes people talk about Luka cards. I immediately go to the Prism base, and I really want people to not.
Luka silver is actually the one I think, in my opinion, is under.
Gotcha.
In my opinion. And I saw some floating around for $5,500 where the Giannis Prism Silver is a $30,000 card.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, though, I mean but that's another benefit for Giannis is if my cards came out at 2013 production cycles versus 2018 production cycles, I'd rather have that because there's a lot more rarity. What I hope that people realize is if I'm getting a piece of Luka, I'm going to get a piece. You know what I mean? I don't want to get a little card. I don't want an optic. I don't want that. If I'm going, I'm going to sell a bunch of my cards that I think are pretty good and go after an NT, or I'm going to go I'm going to get a piece. And that's my thing is I think it's one of my big mistakes when I was getting in is I bought a Kyler Prism base for $351 and I was like, I got a piece of Kyler. And now I'm like, damn it. Like, if I really had that belief, I should have gone hard. And I went a little bit hard at Russ, and now I'm sitting on a pretty solid card of Russell Wilson. But that's my thing is when we're talking about Luka versus Giannis, I'm expecting you go after a juicy piece if you can afford it. I know that there's different levels to this.
It's a nice little tip, right? And I learned this when I was 8 years old and started collecting. One of the old curmudgeons that I've now become told me, buy the best card in the best grade that you can afford.
It's a lesson for life, man.
So Cage,
it's a lesson for the partner that you're trying to find. Like, go for the best. Like, it's how you do everything. And I think that, you know, if you have an accountant, don't get a cheap one. Get the best for you. Like if for everything, like pay a little bit more to get the stuff because it compound interests. You know what I mean? The Prism might go up 15%, but that if it really hits, man, that graph is different.
Well, let me ask you, not as clear cut, right? So there's a Luka black gold parallel, right? I think it's out of 5. It's a PSA 10. I think there's 1 or 2 floating around there. And then there's the National Treasures rookie, right? How do you compare those? Those are very difficult to compare. Which of those, Lefkoe, if you had your choice, would you take? Which of those would feel like a piece of Luka for you?
That's what's interesting is that's where I think it gets scary thinking long term, because that's when I start thinking long term about what are the things that have carried weight. I still think it's amazing sometimes when I'm looking at national treasures and people value the out of 99s more than the out of 10s. And that's where I think there's another learning curve for a lot of people, is understanding who do the collectors collect and what are the types of cards that collectors collect.
Yep.
I've seen many 1-of-5s that I've shown to people that have a lot more experience than me, and they immediately look at it and go, that's from a retail box. It just doesn't cost as much.
Exactly. We talk to our guys about this all the time with Prism. Green, the Prism is a retail parallel. There's so much less of it out there. We talk supply and demand.
You can keep your 199 blue sparkle discos. Nobody gives a fuck.
That's right. 100%.
And I think that's where, if you're not reading about Cardboard Connection and like just looking up stuff, or if you are like, you know what, I'm in the market for some rarer Lukas, and you're not on Instagram like DMing people pictures and just taking a shot. Because if you ask somebody, hey, I'm looking to get a good Luka, and what do you think about this one? Hopefully they either say, honestly, I don't know, or they go, I would stay away from that. Try and get something more over here. For football, it's Contenders. For, for the NBA, it was Exquisite. And look, I'm talking like I know everything, but I just know that before I buy something, I usually DM somebody that has some information and some experience and go, what do you think about this one?
So here's the fun 2 lessons we just learned from Adam here, besides a whole bunch of funny shit about stoicism. Number one, it's educate yourself. Like anything else, you're putting your money into this, right? If you were buying stocks, you wouldn't just buy a stock. You wouldn't just, throw a dart at a dartboard and say, okay, that's the one I'm going to pick. You're going to educate yourself. And he's pointing out so many of the ways that are out there to learn this stuff.
Another
right?
way to educate yourself is to watch breaks and listen to how they talk. Listen to what they react to. If everybody's freaking out about a card getting pulled, find out why. I think the thing that I learned, and this is going to be a huge drop off in seriousness, about the beginning of March with COVID and also with so many of the racial tensions in our country, is that the number one advice that people gave was do your own research. And I think it's a great message that everybody should be doing the research. The problem is people don't even know where to look. And so when you get in these social media bubbles where people only talk to people they already know, you might be looking at the wrong stuff. And so I think it's try and follow people that know more stuff than you. Try and really don't be the smartest guy in your group. Like if you're in a card talk and no one there knows more than you need to get different people in there, because it's constant growth. It's admitting when you don't know the answer to something. Watch YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
I got one more, right?
So much content being made.
The second thing we learned, right? It's a hobby community, right? So obviously watch those videos, watch that stuff, meet someone. Adam mentioned this Action Jackson, who's obviously taught him some good stuff. But more importantly, the lesson to learn there, guys, is when you're listing Kevin Durant on eBay or Instagram, wherever it is you go to sell, Mercari, whatever it is, you never know. You could be selling a card to Adam Lefkoe or anybody else in the hobby. It doesn't have to be a him. You could be selling the card to anybody, or it could be somebody's first card buy, and it's somebody who could become a hobby friend of yours. You didn't. I mean, it's a really cool community we have.
Some guy bought a I think a Daniel Jones off of me. And he wanted me to sign the back because it was my first PSA sub, and I signed the back. I love that shit. The reason I love it is it's like you just start DMing somebody, and man, when that package comes in the mail, it's like the dopest thing ever. And then so when I get that DM later, that's like, bro, I got it. I'm like, yeah.
See? And that really is, it's fun, right? And there's a nostalgia angle to it, right? I mean, you bring it back. Who's off to the side? Is that the fiance?
Yeah, she's peeking in.
Tell her to come say hi.
I got you in a little bit.
All right. Tell her we're sorry. COVID sorry. I'm sorry. 7:25 would have been a magical day.
Oh, no, it's not a time thing. She's
No. 7:25, the date.
Wine.
That would have been the date of your wedding.
Yes, it would have.
July 25th, right? A little stalkerish. Ba. I'm a stalker, right? So when is it rescheduled for?
So we're getting married next May.
There you go. So you got your fiance there. I love it.
I just met with the wedding planner, and she said that we were the only people that didn't yell at her. And so she's going to work
Wow.
hard for us.
I only know this because for coming on, even though you did it for out of the kindness of your heart, I just picked up something on your registry.
Nice. I appreciate that.
What a
There you
guy.
go. That's the only reason why I know.
Like,
It's a little
I
creeper,
got-
but it's a little nice. But
that was very kind of you. Thank
That's
you.
right.
In the beginning of quarantine, my aunt popped an espresso on there, and I just got in today a milk frother, and I made a cappuccino before this show. This is why I'm in such a good mood. That
I thought it was me.
The foam. Oh my goodness! It was
I grew up
There
as a
you go.
barista. I respect that. Adam, so you mentioned something. There is more content right now being put out about cards than we could have ever imagined.
Yes.
So many people are coming out with, IGTVs, YouTube, their own podcast. You've been in this game, man, since forever. I don't want to call you an expert because I think you have such a long way to go with your talent, but you've accomplished, quite a few things. What advice do you have for people?
Ooh.
Keep
So I'm just playing
like it.
to make sure I have juice.
Good one. It's a good question.
So
For the strength
the
of a-
most valuable thing that happened to Sims and me when we launched Sims and Lefkoe was that we weren't even allowed to do it on company time. We had to stay after work because they didn't think that podcasts were going to become a thing back then. I like to remind people of that story. And in the beginning, we got no promotion from Bleacher Report. I posted, we didn't even do video in the beginning. And then when we did video, it was on my personal YouTube page. And we were like employees at this company making good money, like putting out all this content. And then eventually they began putting us on the YouTube. But in the first 2-3 years of the show, there were so many times where we would look at each other and go, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, is anybody even listening to this stuff? And you just keep going. And then we started getting more comments on iTunes. We started getting 5-star reviews. And then more people started picking it up. And then at the Super Bowl in Atlanta, which was Patriots Rams, we took over a restaurant and we had like 100 people in there. And then it ended, which was crazy. But what I learned from it is like, you cannot worry about the reaction in the meantime. And everybody has the fear that they're putting this out and nobody's listening to it, or that, oh my God, there's gonna be one time where we go for a show and like one person shows up and it's my mom. Like, everybody has the fear of creating something and the audience will reject it. And what I would say is if you are creating for yourself and you are creating for an audience and you are respecting that audience and you have in your mind's eye who would actually care to take time out of their day to listen to it, and you genuinely are having fun and you're not holding stuff back. I think that something that happens a lot is people talk the way they want to be perceived, instead of exposing themselves and create a situation where like that's when you really get juice. And so I think that there's a scary thing with sports cards where there's a braggadocious element where people want to because when you think about content, it's the thing that I hate about sneaker content, because I've seen it now for like a decade, where it's like two people and then like, oh, the Concord 11s, what a legendary shoe. Did you have a pair? And it like they just end up talking about the shoe. And I feel like the same thing with cards sometimes, where I don't know. Anyway.
It's like they're talking at you instead of trying to help you. Is what I'm taking away.
There's also a sales pitch. Don't be a salesman right now. Don't be worried about your card prices. Like, I think what we just saw in August was, that's great. You're going to talk about card that's going to go up. It'll come back down. Oh, and if your card is down, it'll probably come back up eventually if you have belief in it. And so this whole like worried about like my portfolio and stuff, like I hope people aren't playing for like super short-term gains, because that's some dangerous stuff. You should really only be buying people that you want to keep.
Love it.
2 more questions, if you don't mind. Pokemon,
Good.
have you been into it at all?
I have a Pokemon.
Tell us.
What do you got?
It's a big boy card.
Oh,
It's a Pikachu first edition Red Cheeks PSA 10, and I spent a lot of money on it.
You're gonna have to tell me what the PSA cert is on it at some point in time, because believe it or not, I bought one of them in July, and it was lost in the mail this year. It was lost in the mail.
What happens then?
It's just lost. It's just lost in the mail. It's never been
what
delivered.
happens? Do you get like your money back?
I got my money back because it was an eBay purchase. So, I made the claim, the guy,
God bless eBay,
the whole deal. Exactly on that one.
I got mine from a guy in the Netherlands.
Oh, Lamim! Shouts!
No, probably not.
Oh, well, still, Lamim deserves a shout. Hands down the funniest.
Is that where Lamim lives?
Yeah.
Stop it.
He's in the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force. I swear.
That's amazing.
I wish you guys could.
Yep. No, there's other people who sell Pokemon in that country.
Is good. Lamim is good with the internets.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But my thing with Pokemon is, I'll be very candid. That to me is mainly an investment play, but it's also I don't know. I for some reason always used Pikachu in Super Smash, because I just thought that the notion of getting that supercharged lightning thing into somebody was like the most badass of all the moves. And so Pikachu's always had a special place in my heart, but I'm glad I got in when I did, because now I'm just seeing all these. I have a feeling that a lot of the big time celebrities are going to go to Pokemon first. It just everything like the Logan Pauls, the Justin Biebers, and so I just saw what's that the group, they just went public and they're worth billions of dollars. The BTK or whatever, what's their name?
Yeah, the K-pop, right? So BTK.
Look, I'm gonna be very honest. That one, that card, that might be a card for my kids, where it's like a really big card where I'm like, you know what, I don't want to touch it because I believe in this overall. Like I'm just being honest. Sometimes they got to invest. Okay,
I'm too old for Pokemon.
My family,
but my son opens Pokemon. I'm too old for it. But I am 6 cards shy of the first edition set in PSA 10.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You get hit up for fancy quite a bit.
One of the cards is Charizard, though, so that's bad.
Yeah.
But I do have a 9.
It's big time. Oh, you don't have that yet.
I have a 9.
We had Jeremy Padour on, and he makes a really good claim about Pikachu. And if there's one brand in the world,
that's why I got him, bro. Because Charizard, I know, is the guy.
Yeah.
But Pikachu's the one on all them posters.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, if I showed a Charizard and a Pikachu has a movie.
Yep. More recognizable.
I don't know.
Sure.
I'm with you.
I sound like an idiot.
No, you don't. You sound like a smart investor.
So, Adam,
you sure? Because
Yeah.
that's the thing about the hobby sometimes is like it's tough because there's so many different factions of the hobby, and I would like to get along with everybody in the hobby. And I feel like when I'm investing this for a lot of financial gain, people are like, ugh. And I'm like, oh, wait, but like, aren't we all kind of doing it for that a little bit? Please. Yep. I still have Mahomes.
You got one more question. Go for it.
So, Adam, every year, and this year, unfortunately, was canceled due to COVID, we have a 5-on-5 kind of March Madness tournament. 5-6 teams we have, and some of Gary Vee's boys play, some Syracuse guys play. I want to do it next year, but I want to do it bigger, and I want to, have some money donated to a good cause. Maybe put it on YouTube. Can I count on you in contributing, or I want you to play? I think you got some
Put 'em on the
games.
spot.
How tall are the tallest people? I'm just curious. What kind of crew are we talking?
How tall?
You'd be the first one to commit. So if you want, we can make a rule that you're the tallest.
We had 40 people last year, and some people didn't make the cut. I mean, dude, some
I would love to play. I would love to play. Because for me, I'm like a combination between Arvydas Sabonis.
I love it.
And a young Sean Kemp, like a combination.
Let's go.
See,
Go
I'm
down.
more of a...
Wait, so
I'm
where
more
is
of a-
where is it at?
We played in
Rucker. It's in
huh?
Rucker.
Rucker
We
Park.
play at Rucker.
Basketball City.
No.
Really?
And you're going to... I'm covering you, Lefkoe, because I'm more of a combination of Greg Odom and Oliver
you're
Miller
just
towards
talking
the end
shit
of his
the
career.
entire
Oliver
time.
Miller, the end of his career is what I look like. You know Oliver
See, but
Miller?
Andrew, if I go up against him, is he just going to remind me that he's older than me every
The whole time. But with both my knee braces
He's just
on.
going to smack the crap out of me and be like, "Hey, that's how we played back in the day.
That's right.
I used to play with a rake."
No blood, no foul. No blood, no foul. That's it. That's my saying. No blood, no foul.
Oh.
All right, so he said yes. There you go. You got him in.
I'm in.
Oh man.
I love it. So I only have one question in 37 parts. No, then that's a movie for you, by the way, too. But you're not gonna know what it is. A little back to
I didn't
school
know
with
that movie.
that's Back to School from what's his name, Rodney
I
Dangerfield.
think we should end it there because that's how we began it.
No,
By
so
you
here you
going,
go.
that's a movie quote, but you
It's a
probably don't
movie
know what
quote,
it's from
But
because
you don't
of
know
my
what it's from. I get
knowledge
no
of
respect.
cinema.
I get no respect. That's what it is. No, easy. I'm gonna
I've
do
been
rapid
watching
fire for you.
movies since before you were born. I was
You can
at
feel-
legal cinemas with the
That's it.
Butterfingers.
That's it. No, I'm more of a Baby Ruth guy, but you know,
I'm a
it is what it is.
Raisinets kind of guy.
Goobers. Andrew's a Goobers. So you can pass
Only
on these,
goober
but
I know is the one sitting in front of me. What do you know?
Hey, whoa, look at I love it. That's not Philly.
Andrew, what did you do, Andrew?
You've been in New York too long. What did he do? He's a fucking genius. That's what he did. He hitched his wagon to this shit. He's a genius. So here you go.
Okay,
Adam. You ready?
37-part
You can
question.
pass. No, I'll just do a quick rapid fire with you, right? You feel free to pass. Ready? 1.
Okay.
Last 3 emojis used on your phone.
My most popular 3 are the crying, laughing emoji, the fist emoji, and the prayer hands. Those are
Who was more responsible for the Heat winning the championship, Shaq or D Wade? Feel free to pass. You gotta
D-Wade.
hang. All right, good. Oh, Shaq.
I
Shaq listens. I'm a big Shaq fan. He's gonna listen to this. He's gonna know you said that.
I mean, they were like Shaq literally said that D-Wade had to be the guy, so D-Wade was the guy.
There you go. All right. So, better stoicism example: Belichick or Wooden? I didn't say they were gonna be easy, Adam.
Wooden.
All right, and the last.
Belichick is stoicism, but with like the art of war.
I like it. But here you go. Last one, and I'm going to see if you're really Philly. I didn't know you guys are both Philly. You gang it up with Philly. And don't give me Geno's bullshit. Tony Luke's or Ishka Bibbles?
Wow, that's very impressive that those were the options. I would say Jim's is left off there, and I'd say that Ishka Bibbles is on there over Jim's because I think people like to be different and the name sounds cool, but Jim's is the spot. Yeah. Jim's it's the black, it's the white font, it's the fact that back in the day when COVID wasn't a thing, you can go to the upstairs thing and like overlook South Street. But Tony Luke's was the first place that I claimed as my own. That was like my dad took me there, and I was like, "This sounds so much cooler than Pat's and Geno's." Tony, that's the thing is like you evolve to be different. My friends from home love Steve's Prince of Steaks, and then like the really obnoxious Philly people are like, technically, you could go to the Reading terminal and get a hot roast pork sandwich from the Knicks, and you're like, "That's why?" Because Food Network put that on television. It's tough when like. And then, like, somebody comes out of the woodwork, and they're like, actually, Philadelphia is known for soft pretzels. And you're like, get the fuck out of here, soft pretzel guy. You know? It's
well, listen, that's
Philadelphia
it.
has a weird relationship with their foods. People don't do that in Boston, you know?
We got pizza here. Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got their own they love. That's the deal, right? I mean, but Staten Island people tell me the best pizza in New York from Staten Island. You tell them they're insane. But it is what it is. That's the deal. But
pizza is so territorial.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, that's all I got for you. No 37 parts, but we figured we'd end it with some fun. Go for it, Adam.
I didn't expect this amount of energy. I didn't think you and Cage would click and hit it all.
What the hell have you seen from me that would make you think otherwise?
Yeah, no shit.
Well, this is 1 + 1 = 5. You and Cage, 1 + 1 =
Listen, I was looking forward to this one. He brings me guests sometimes where I'm like, dude, can you kick them?
Do you say that to their face?
Yes, I'll say it right now. I'll say, I text Andrew, I'm like, this guy. I say, you're putting me to sleep, man.
What I do is because I've done so many interviews now that if I don't like somebody's energy, it's like a 2-minute interview. Oh. And then I'll like put it in my podcast and be like, and here's a quick little convo with incoming rookie running back that I'm like, this guy is just.
I lied. Give me because I can't end it with Cheesesteaks. We're a sports card podcast. Give me one card either that you're buying yourself or that you give to our guys, our listeners who stuck with us to the end, put up with me. I mean, you are an amazing guest. I got to thank you for coming on. Seriously, it's great stuff. But I do want to bring it back to, what we're here for. So if you're telling one card for our guys to buy, what would it be?
Oh, this is what the issue in the hobby is. Okay, you guys want to buy a card that I bought and it has dropped $1,200. So I obviously think the value is still there.
That's
and
perfect.
I'm not pumping and dumping. I'm thinking about getting more of them. But this is the way the hobby is. I bought the 2002 Topps Chrome Tom Brady Pop 121. I bought that for $19.99, and that motherfucker went for $800 last night. So I look at that. It is Tom Brady's first Topps Chrome card. It is right after, because if you remember 2000, he gets drafted. He has like some Bowman Chromes that everybody collects, but the Pops are like 1,000, 2,000. And then he really didn't have any 2001 cards because he didn't play at all his rookie year. And then because people forget he played in the second year. So 2002, it's like, for me, I bought it because it's like the iconic Tom Brady pose where he's like in full throw. And then also the back, it's like the story, it literally says on it where like Tom Brady came out of nowhere for an incredible win over the Rams. Like, and I don't know, I kind of look at cards a lot like I look at comic books, where it's like your first appearance.
First appearance of this.
And that's why, I mean, like if we're going to talk about LeBron and D Wade and all them in the 2012 Prism, for me, the reason I bought it is I needed an entry point to Tom Brady that wasn't $45,000. And because I want to get the contenders. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want, signed contenders. But so I thought 2002 Top Chrome first year. And so I would give that because I think at $800 is a steal. I thought at $2,000 was a steal. So I'm not pumping.
Love it.
Well, the value there was the comic book kind of experience, and it's his first appearance. It's a cool card.
It's Topps Chrome.
Yeah, it's a very cool looking card, and the black refractor. And I'm looking at it on eBay here. Is sick.
How much is that going for?
I've listed at. It's listed at $9,999. 9,000.
Black refractor out of 199.
10K.
Is it out, Andrew? Look, is it out 199? Look at the number on it.
$599.
$599.
You know what I love? That's a 2002
that's
random
a really
card.
funny thing that I learned really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's
no, go for it.
People apparently were telling me that back in the day, the black refractor was laughed at and that people didn't like it.
Wow.
And now it is what it is. And I think that's the dangerous thing about hobby wisdom is that who are these people making the rules and who are these people saying that this is cool and what's not cool? You know what, we don't know what's going to be big in 15, 20 years. That's where I think it gets a little bit, cause that shit, it's all flippant, what is and what's not. But that's my only concern because like to think about the black refractor not being cool. And now I look at it and I'm like, man, black refractor on that LeBron 2003 is sick.
Yeah. Good luck.
You guys, there be no prediction.
That's a good luck on that one.
Say it again.
There was no prediction, by the way, for my first question on the finals.
Oh,
it's tough.
I have one, but I'm not gonna. I want to listen to him. He's the guest.
7 is a cop out. Lakers in 6.
I say the Lakers sweep them, and it's gonna be miserable. Miami's good,
Really?
but they're just happy to be there. And I would love nothing more than to sell T-shirts that said 3 and 7.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen. This is the easiest path LeBron has.
The true thing is that the Lakers, when they played the Blazers in the first round, it took them a while to get their shooting going, and the Blazers were able to hit some shots and to build a big enough lead. And if Duncan and Robinson and Hero and Iguodala hit some big threes, they do have multiple guys to throw at LeBron. Do I believe that Iguodala can shut him down by himself? No. Or Butler? No. But they have bodies. The question is does Bam get in foul trouble with all that size? Because if you take him out, the road to the basket is very easy.
Yep.
But the Heat have to hit their shots. They gotta. It really is that simple sometimes.
I don't think it matters. I think we haven't seen LeBron. I think the last game where he's like, I'm going to go to the finals, I'm going to turn it on. I think that was the closest to real LeBron. I think he's been in half gear. I think he wasn't going to tire himself out. I think you're going to see him just pedal to the metal. Andrew's been saying this the whole time, and I've been withstanding it because I just don't want to hear it. I don't like LeBron. I
will say that there's going to be a moment where I feel like they're going to put a very angry and motivated Rondo on a very innocent and doe-like Duncan Robinson. And I feel like Duncan Robinson is just going to be shitting bricks. Like, I feel like he's going to be sitting there and Rondo's going to be like right in his face and being like, you're not going anywhere. Like,
dude, Duncan is gritty, man. His story.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I think to me
but Rondo to me is like Duncan will still at the end of games look over and smile. Like Rondo to me is like a warrior poet.
It comes down to, do players or coaches win championships? I think that's what it is, right? Like, I highly recommend Luka Nation to go watch some Pat Riley kind of talks.
That's the big winner. Is anybody that's buying Pat Riley rookie cards right now?
Pat Riley, that guy is a beast. But at the end of the day, they're not on the court. Him and Spoelstra aren't on the court where LeBron is. But this is a tough.
They are on the court. They are represented by the draft picks and the fines and the culture. That's them. But the players got to make the shots.
The players got to make the shots at the end of the day. Adam, I appreciate your time so much. I love the band. I hope this is the first of many. I wish you so much success in your career.
Thanks, Adam, before we sign off, people won't have trouble finding you, but you want to drop where people can find your stuff?
Sure. My personal pages on most social media is at Adam Lefkoe. If you would remember this, if you've ever heard the song Method Man by Wu-Tang, instead of method, it's Lefkoe, man. And then I'm also on Instagram. This is probably better for cards, Lefkoe Cards. I've been unfollowing people on my regular account because my algorithm is messed up. And I'm trying to look at pictures of my mom and my family, and Lamine James is popping up. So I'm trying to move everything to my Lefkoe card. So that's probably the best place.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. We appreciate it, Adam.
See you, fellas.
Brother.
Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lukas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.